Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. I hope you're doing well there. If you guys could subscribe, that'd be great, and appreciate you stopping by. We got some unfortunate news that came across the wire today. It was reported this morning that Tyler Herro is going to have surgery that is going to prevent him from starting the season, and it could be something that is fairly long-term, something that could, really affect how many games that he misses to start this season. The news, I believe, first reported by 5 Reasons Sports, but a lot of details coming out after from Anthony Chang, Ira Winderman, Shams Charania. So Tyler Herro apparently injured this during a workout this summer, and that he was really trying to see if he could heal this without getting surgery. That was not the case, and now Tyler Herro is going to have surgery, I believe Friday. We will, I guess, get a more definitive timeline, supposedly, so I may be giving you an update later on today. I'm doing this right after the radio show is done. But this is from Anthony Chang of the Miami Herald, that Tyler Herro is going to undergo surgery on his left ankle/foot, which is not great, to repair a lingering injury that has been bothering him this offseason, multiple sources told the Miami Herald. The exact timetable for recovery and return isn't determined, but is expected to be at some point in this season, according to multiple sources. Clarity on the potential timeline is expected after his surgery on Friday. Herro first felt discomfort in his left ankle during a workout earlier this offseason, according to league sources. He received platelet-rich plasma and cortisone injections in recent weeks and hoping to avoid surgery, but the discomfort never subsided and surgery was deemed necessary to avoid more issues down the road. Herro's surgery also comes just before he's allowed to start talking to the Heat about a lucrative extension that he can start on October 1st. He's eligible for a 3-year, $149.7 million extension. If an agreement is not reached by October 20th, he'll be eligible to sign a 4-year extension worth $206.9 million during this upcoming offseason. He is max eligible if he is selected for an All-NBA team, but obviously, believe you have to play 65 games, so this will put a big crux into that. Anthony also writes, Herro and his reps are expected to meet with the Heat to discuss an extension in October, according to a league source. So none of this is great news for that, by the way, for Tyler Herro, because I think if you had Tyler Herro is a very, very talented player, has really worked his ass off, made himself an all-star last year, through a lot of noise, through a lot of rumors, through a lot of adversity in his career. But I would say out of anything that you wanted to critique him on, and Pat Riley even said this before last season when he played 77 games, he said that Tyler Herro is fragile. And particularly this type of injury, a lower body injury, this is something that he had, I believe, 2 years ago. He had that bad ankle twist in Memphis, I want to say. And I believe he also did the PRP and tried to make his way back, which he eventually did make his way back, but it took a while. It was something he missed like about half the season for that. So this is a big time concern. So we will, I guess, get more information on this, but according to Ira, after Friday's surgery, the team expects to know more about how long Herro is out, but the initial expectation is that he's going to miss all of training camp, possibly the first 1 or 2 months of the season, if not longer. Oof. Herro's been dealing with the impingement for weeks and had hoped that treatment would help to avoid surgery. When those injections failed, the decision was made to move forward with the procedure. Goodness gracious, dude. This was the one other thing that I found, though, with this. And then Ethan also reports that this will be likely several weeks after the season starts. So we will probably get more of an idea. But this is the one thing that I saw in a national report from Shams Charania and Om Youngmasuk, that Herro dealt, this is what he writes, Herro dealt with an impingement in his left foot last season. The Heat guard suffered an ankle injury during an offseason workout that led to the decision to undergo surgery. So that's a little bit different, that if he's been dealing with this since last year, that this is discomfort, that is definitely concerning, because just Tyler, again, this is a guy who has dealt with, some pretty tough injuries in his career. And some of this stuff has been bad luck. Like I said, the Memphis thing, that was an ankle twist. The breaking of the hand in the playoffs, that was just, horrible, horrible luck. But, you're going into a season where obviously the Miami Heat want to know what they have in Tyler Herro as far as like what a team led by him can do. And, maybe some of that is we know the answers, as far as what it's concerned. He definitely is one of the most potent shooters in the league. He really, really continues to improve his offensive game. And also, like, this is kind of going right into the prime of his career. 25, going to be 26 years old once January hits. But I will say there's the Heat, as far as giving a big-time extension, another one of these things happening, that cannot be going good for his negotiation. Even if Tyler Herro were to go and have a year that we talked about where he comes back like gangbusters and the Heat win a first-round series, having another one of these things is definitely going to have the Miami Heat squeamish about signing him to a big-time extension. So there's no doubt about this and based on the idea that he was trying to avoid surgery, I think he probably knows. I think his reps probably know what. It's not even a narrative. It's what the team believes because the president damn said it before last season. And so really, really tough as far as that's concerned. As far as the team's concerned, also a big blow. We talked about this recently about this team's offense not being very good, and Tyler Herro is the best scorer on this team. But I guess you could say that they are better positioned for this than in most situations because they did bring in Norman Powell. They do have a natural starting guard next to him in Davion Mitchell. Then you have Pelle Larsson, who will be in the fold right there. And this is kind of an interesting dichotomy for it because you would always say, hey, you lose an all-star player like Tyler Herro, that sucks. But unfortunately, one of the other weird conundrums of Tyler's career has been a lot of times, multiple times, when he has been out, the team has kind of flourished. Like you think about the 22-23 run that got them to the finals without Tyler Herro. 21-22, he was out for a lot of those games in the back end of them going through the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, could he have helped in those years? I'm not here to say whether he could or couldn't, but we don't know because he wasn't there. And then, the year after that, after being all the Dame rumors being hot and heavy and him dealing with all that, then he gets an injury with the ankle. And they bring in Terry Rozier, and him and Terry never really got to play with one another. And then Terry ends up getting the injured neck while Tyler Herro finally came back. And, of course, we know that Jimmy ends up getting hurt in the play-in. So it has to become a Tyler Bam-led team. Tyler has the really incredible game, too, against, one of the most potent offenses in the league. And, the team gets gentlemen swept. So, right or wrong, that just is what it is right now with him. And I do wonder about this team. Like, they are going to take on some pretty heavy hitters to come out of the gate. Just to take a looky at their schedule to start the season. They got Orlando, they got New York, and then they're going on the road right away after a Charlotte game. San Antonio, Lakers, Clippers, with all the drama they're going through, Nuggets. Then they come back. They got games against the Cavs, games against the Knicks. They got the showdown with Jimmy at home early. Yeah, man, it's going to be an interesting test for this Heat team. And the one thing that I'm curious about is twofold. One, okay, Tyler Herro's hurt. The worst case scenario is team sucks without him, right? Can't find the replacement for it. Norman Powell just isn't as good if he's got to carry the whole brunt of the offense. Bam Adebayo slumps again out of the gate. Neither of the young bigs show up, and they really, really miss him. That would really suck. You're also in this interesting conundrum because, okay, what if like the addition by subtraction thing is there too, and he also, like, the team gets off to a gangbuster start, but Norman Powell is going to become like the go-to guy with the ball in his hands at the end of games instead of Tyler, and a little bit like he had last year with Kawhi, like it's a situation he's used to, and then he kind of gets shuffled aside. What if the Heat come out like gangbusters and they also have to decide this situation of Tyler Herro and his contract, and they're like, yeah, we kind of like how this is working. We like the defense that Davion Mitchell's bringing. Nobody's targeting Tyler Herro. Because the one thing I would say is a lineup without Tyler Herro, you don't really have a guy who's going to be a potent target for everybody on the other side. Like, you're talking Davion. I guess Norm would be. Norm's not a bum defender, though. Like, he's been a capable defender in the past. He just hasn't been as good as he was with the Clippers. So curious to see that. Then you would have, but Davion, Norman, Wiggins, Bam, Jovic, or Ware, whoever they're going to go with. And obviously there's going to be staggering with it. So there's those questions as well. Like, okay, so like, what if the Heat play pretty decent? And Norman Powell is like, is it going to be easy to bring Tyler Herro just back into the fold? Like, these are all problems I'm just throwing out there. I'm not saying anything is just definitive, but this is a shaker, because the one thing I came into this season knowing was like, all right, this is going to be Bam and Tyler's show with Norman Powell infusing some life into it. And now, okay, Norman, you're kind of getting this thrown to you with the Heat. And we've been in situations of the Heat playing without Tyler Herro before. It's not something that we're unfamiliar with, and how that can typically go for the team. The other interesting thing is, okay, so like, who does get more of that juice? So let's say we know most likely, I think the starting lineup's going to go Davion, Norm, Bam, Wiggins, and then it's going to be either Ware or Nico. You know, I don't see a scenario where like Pella has an incredible camp and he starts over Davion. But we were talking about this whole conundrum of Davion was going to come off the bench. Well, now he's going to start. Pella then kind of goes into that role of like one of the first guys who's probably going to replace Davion. Then who replaces Norm in those minutes? And that's the interesting thing is, okay, where does that offensive punch off the bench come from? That is the one thing with having no Tyler Herro. Not necessarily that Davion is like this offensive punch, but like you could stagger with him and Norm and Tyler, and you're always going to have one of those scorers likely out there. And now the Heat are in a bit of a conundrum. Now, this could be an opportunity for Jaime Jaquez. This could be a big-time opportunity for Jaime Jaquez to be that, have the ball in his hands a little bit, be in that six-man role to flourish. Nico, if Kalel starts, could certainly bring that, but, you know, because he is a bit of he's got those point guard skill sets. But that's mostly on fast break. It's not necessarily like the Heat are going to like let him facilitate running everything all the time. We saw Pella get a lot of on ball. Does this open up the opportunity for Kasparas Yakachonis to sink or swim early on? Still a little dubious of that. I don't know if I necessarily believe that. And then what does this mean for our old friend Terry Rozier? Did this actually just open up the portal to Terry Rozier making his way back in the Heat's good graces? That for at least these first couple of months. And if that does happen, and let's say Terry Rozier looks fantastic, should maybe this drama get cleared, does that maybe open the pathway for it to be easier to trade his expiring deal or whatever? But I have said, and you guys have heard me say this, I've looked at this Heat team and I've thought to myself, something's going to have to give with this roster eventually. And I thought maybe that was going to lean towards like Andrew Wiggins maybe getting dealt eventually. But with this Tyler Herro extension thing looming, one has to win. Now, Tyler's got another $33 million left next year. It's not like he's which is about a little bit more than what Andrew makes. A little bit more than what Andrew makes. But going to be interesting. Going to be interesting to see now how this team plays. It's an easy solution if the team's not very good, because then you're like, oh, we need our all-star back. But I think that Heat fans and pundits who have seen like the team be able to have some success when Tyler's been out, and especially with Norm being there. Like, I don't think this is a death sentence for the Heat. Gonna be tough. Like, could they go the whole season without Tyler Herro? No, obviously, I think that'd be pretty much. But a couple of months, could they figure some things out? Would it put Norm in a more comfortable spot? I don't know. It feels like there could be other issues down the road anyway, just because of then you have to infuse everybody together. But it does definitely open up some opportunities for other guys, because I didn't think Tyler Herro was going to miss time. I thought Tyler Herro was going to have himself another season of playing 70 plus, and that he got some of this stuff behind him. The fact that he isn't got to be really disappointing to him. Got to be very frustrating for him, because you got to feel like he's thinking, this stuff's finally behind me. I played 77 games, kissed my ass. I'm about to, I made an all-star team. I'm ready to go. And now, kind of feels like everything's now thrown into question. It's a very this is going to be interesting to see how this all unfolds for the Heat and this season, but certainly not the way you hope, because it just feels like every year there's been a year where they're just dealing with some kind of big injury, some massive headache, and you were hoping, what did we hope? This was going to be a drama-free year, and this is what you're welcome to. So we'll keep an eye on it, see where this is at. My head's kind of all over the place with it right now. I still haven't quite wrapped my head around it, as we're just 10 days away from media day, but that is unfortunate stuff with Tyler Herro having to get surgery.